Hi everybody and welcome to True Potential's latest charity update, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by the team from the Newcastle Hospital Charity. They are a charity which, as you can guess by the name, are based locally to True Potential's head office here in Newcastle upon Tyne, and is a cause which is dear to many of us at True Potential and hopefully among our wider client and advisor teams as well. So to help introduce a bit more about the Newcastle Hospital Charity, I'm delighted to be joined by Katie, by Cheryl and by Emma. So welcome ladies and thank you for joining me today. Maybe before we get into who the Newcastle Hospital Charity are and the fantastic outcomes and outputs which you and all of your teams do in the region, would you maybe mind introducing yourselves and just a little bit about what your respective roles are? We'll start with you, Katie.
Yes, so I'm Katie. I'm one of the matrons at Great North Children's Hospital, and the area that I cover is oncology, bone marrow transplant and children's palliative care, which are all really well supported by our charity at the hospital.
Thanks, Katie. Cheryl.
Yeah, I'm an occupational therapist working with children, and for the last 2.5 years my role has primarily been trying to make Newcastle hospitals more sensory safe, so looking at all the different ward areas and how we can actually make that a more inclusive space for children, often children who are autistic or just children who experience sensory differences.
Thanks, Cheryl. And Emma.
Hiya, I'm fundraising coordinator at Newcastle Hospitals Charity, so I support fundraisers and help bring in funds for the charity to then pass on to the
teams. Perfect. Thanks, Emma. And maybe we'll stick with you then, Emma, because you're the coordinator for the charity themselves. So how do you raise money? Is it primarily via campaigns? Is it via organisations like True Potential, or is it a mix?
It's a little bit of a mix.
Yeah.
So we go out to community groups, so that's schools, individuals. A lot of the supporters we get are patients and maybe families of patients wanting to give back for the care they've received. We also have organisations such as yourself that support us, and we also run campaigns and events to bring in money that way as well.
So busy all the time.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about how you use money to work, say, with Cheryl and with Katie within there. So maybe, Cheryl, if we zone in on you first, please, and if you almost say about how you interact with you mentioned about the sensory wards and the improvements. Is that a big part of the work at the moment?
The Newcastle Hospitals Charity have funded lots of different opportunities, more so for the children, insofar as the work that we do is co-designed with the children, so the children tell us what they need and the families tell us what they need. One of the things I think is often forgotten is when we talk about children that have got sensory differences, sensory is really closely linked with attachment, and for parents, it's not a great way of looking at it, but not all of the children go home. Most of them do, but for those that don't, we're making sensory opportunities and attachment opportunities, so parents have got beautiful memories of when they were with the children. Obviously the focus is on making children have a more intact sensory system, so that's obviously what we want, for them to get better and go home, but we're looking at it across the board.
I bet it probably sounds like a real cliche, Cheryl, but I guess no two cases are the same as well. So what fits for one children and the family might be different for another.
No, completely.
As well. So it must be really important to do that, and as you say, to form those attachments is so
absolutely
key.
It's when children actually tell us, one of the examples would be the ward I was mentioned before. When we've done the bathroom, it was a very grey, very clinical space, and these are children who sometimes sustained a head injury, and they are no longer how they used to be from a physical perspective, in their mobility, and we actually spoke to the children and the families and asked how they would like the bathroom to look, and one of the children said to me, would you want to get bathed in a space like this? And I wouldn't. It was a very grey clinical area with lots of bits of equipment that they're not used to, and thanks to the charities we've been able to create a really holistic space that's now got fragrance, it's got sound, it's got the colours of the walls are much, it's like a space theme, and families and the children absolutely love it.
And about how many children use that area?
That ward, I don't know how many children exactly, but I mean, let's just say that bathroom gets used multiple times every day. How many children, I don't know, but multiple times every day.
I'll put you on the spot there, sorry.
No, it's fine. But equally, it's for a child who's maybe been hoisted now that used to be able to walk, having a bathing experience that's more positive as opposed to what it used to be, and for the parents to see that, because it can be a very distressing time. So if we can make it slightly better. No,
absolutely, because I think it's too often, I suppose, everybody says, well, how do we make the person better? Versus you're missing the journey there, which is about comfortable, about feeling safe, you know, and all of those really important steps along the way.
The other thing just to mention is as well, I think Newcastle Hospitals in some ways a victim of its own success. We've got lots of children being born at 22 and 23 weeks, and they themselves actually, you know, they go on to survive, but sometimes with some additional needs, and the hospital's been adapted to accommodate their needs as well and to reduce their sensory differences.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And we'll probably come back to you maybe in a moment, Cheryl, because we've got Katie waiting eagerly here on my left as well. So we can obviously hear the fantastic things Cheryl and her team are doing. What about yourself, Katie?
So the areas that I cover can be difficult areas to work in. So I cover oncology, which is children's cancer. I cover bone marrow transplant and palliative care, so end-of-life care. Those children can be in hospital and their families for a very, very long time. Their treatment journeys are very, very difficult. So the charity does lots for us. They'll give us lots of equipment to help make that journey better and make it more comfortable. The charity has also recently funded a 9-month secondment for an educator in palliative care. So that is a regional post that makes end-of-life care a more comfortable journey for parents and their family across the region as a whole. So I'm very grateful to the charity for the work they do within my areas.
Yeah, no, and it's as you say, it's probably a really difficult set of things, but you know, thank goodness you and the team are there for offering that type of help. And Emma, if we go back to yourself, how do you and the team help support Cheryl, Katie, and the rest? Do you know, in terms of, do we say some fundraising's going to go here, or do you say Katie needs the 9-month secondment? And is that how you allocate the funds?
So staff can get in touch with the team with their ideas, and they then apply for funds for the charity by filling out an application form. And basically this goes through approval, but the charity aims to support the application to fund things that really urgently require. So then when it is funded, it makes the biggest impact.
Yeah. No, and would you say, Katie, has it been the education side of things, as you mentioned? Is that the new, not the new, so is that the latest drive from you and the team?
Yeah, so end-of-life and palliative care is difficult with children, and we noticed that it wasn't the same across the region, and obviously we want children to get the same standard of care wherever they present across our region. So that educator post is a regional post that we were going to lose. It was going to be ended. And we applied for the charity for that extension, which they very kindly gave us the money for, so that standard of care can remain for those children for a little bit longer.
Good. No, glad to hear it. And in terms of our own fundraising here at True Potential, I think we're close to £3,000 now. That's mainly been the staff so far, so what I wanted to do today is use yourselves to raise a bit of further exposure, to get out to our clients and our advisors, just to donate, I think, and help, because what True Potential does is we double all of the donations as well. So when we're above 3,000, rough and ready, it's 6. But I know, say, Summon and the rest of the team, they really want to help with a sensory trolley as well, which I think is about £7,000. So almost there, but a little bit further to go. So I think that's what we're going to be fundraising. We're going to be pushing further across. And I just want to say thank you to Katie, to Cheryl and to Emma for coming in today, for giving up your time to come and see me and come and see the rest of the True Potential team, because I know that will push things over the line further. So thank you, ladies, but also thank you actually for the really important work which you do, which we could spend a lot of time talking about today. So I don't want to downplay that at all, but I've also been told by the team to keep things snappy from there. So thanks again, ladies, and look forward to hitting the target.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.